Hi there, it's Jamie. And recently I participated in a soap dish exposition on Facebook, and this was one of the soap dish trays that I submitted. So one people commenting on my post asked for instructions on how to make it. So I'm going to show you that. It's mainly two parts: a catch dish at the bottom that fits under there, and then the top, which has the holes for the drainage of the soap. So let's get started. Um, so you're going to choose textures. I have textures here on the feet and then also in the background, and then I chose to keep this smooth just to give your eye something to rest on. For the background on this one, I use this wood block that I have. Um, and then for the legs, I used this. And this is something I think I got at Aftosa, which is no longer around. But you just look for the little thin texture rollers on Amazon. I'm sure you can find something. The thing that I like for feet is that you have small texture, not really big. It doesn't really big textures don't really lend themselves well to this. So stick with a smaller designed texture. Here's how I created this template. This is a template and the dimensions are 5 and 3/16. So that's the size of the square I started out with. So then I folded it into quarters and then I folded it again. And then I just created a little bit of a not so straight line. I wanted to have a gentle curve. So I just cut that out. And then when I did that, when I open it up, I have this nice little line all the way around. So here we go with this new texture. It's a pressed vinyl mat that I got at a kitchen supply store. And now I'm just cutting out my pieces. So this is the fun part. I'm cutting little strips and then I throw them down to create a curve and then iron them out a little bit with a gentle roll and then put them on there to fit. And then I just match them at the same size and then just scratch and attach on the main body. Now that this piece is all together, I'm going to set it on top of a plaster mold. If you don't have a plaster mold, you can use a ball with some plastic on it. Set it aside, let it firm up a bit, and then you can start on the legs. In this case, I used that fondant roller before, but this time I'm going to use a circle wood block print that I have along with my Fat Daddy-O cutters. I love these things. They make perfect little feet all the time. So I've already made some. I'm going to put that aside. And next I'm gonna attach them. So I notched a card out. So every time I can line up that card with the notches and I get the perfect location where the feet should go. So now it's gonna be a scratch and attach. And then I'm gonna work on creating my little tray. This little tray I used the long edge before, but this time I wanna make a shorter tray. So I'm gonna use the short end of it and press that into the clay. So I'm just prepping it for pressing here, and we'll get back to the shaping in a second here. So now I have my cute little tray, and I'm just going to use my fingers to push in the corners. So this little tray you want to make sure fits in between where your feet are going. And I can see that that's fine. The other thing you might want to do is put a little wear board over it to make sure that you clear it. All right, so what I can tell from here is that these tips are a little bit high. So what I might try to do is bring them down to be the same height as the wall right here. And what I'm doing now is it flattened out when I moved it. So I'm just using my credit card to bring up the sides again. Oh, I kind of like that look. Check that out. Actually, I'm going to stick with that. So that looks like it's flatter. Now I'm on to soap dish number 2. I wanted to create the reverse, have a plain background with some textured inlays. And to do that, I'm going to use some oval cutters that I have to create that shape. So now it's just a simple attach those, and this time I'm making the marks to where the legs should go before I put them on the form, and maybe just a little bit of an easier step. And now I'll put that on and put it aside to rest. This is another way of creating those feet. So still it's the same cutters. I didn't go through all the way. I just gently marked where the cutter would go, and then I went back over with these tools, and then I'm doing my final cut, and we'll create these little legs, which are delightful. This next section is all about making sure the tray is level. So I put the wear board back on, and I'm just bringing down the tips of the corners a little bit. And then also on the bottom, adjusting some of the height of the cone legs. And then if that doesn't work, you could also whittle down part of the tray top too so that it fits. So it's really important that it fits now before it goes into firing, because it's not going to fit afterwards if it doesn't fit now. And then I'm using a cutter that I got from jewelry making, a little rectangle. So you can use that, or you can also use a paring knife, a fettling knife, or if you have square cutters. I'm going to use the rectangle and then the circle cutter on the other form, just for variety. For the second form, I decided to add some height to the legs rather than go through the business of
That's it for my soap dish making.
using the rasp to bring the feet down or change the little tray. And this just worked better for this scenario.